Sara, and welcome to my crochet channel. I'm so glad you're here today for our fifth and final step in our Crystal, the Christmas Puppy, crochet along. It's been so much fun, and I've really enjoyed all the pictures that you've been sending in. Well, today is our fifth and final step, and we're going to crochet her a nice collar and a cute hair bow. Isn't that lovely? And I'll also explain at the end of the video some other things that you can do to personalize your Christmas pet for whoever you're going to give it to. Now remember, if you want the crochet pattern with all the pictures, you can find that link down in the notes underneath this video. And you can also find all 5 of the videos from our video crochet along, our winter crochet along, Crystal the Christmas Puppy, on YouTube. Just go to that playlist for the Christmas projects and you'll find all 5 of those videos. So now all we have to do is just finish up our Christmas puppy or kitty with just some few holiday touches. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a collar for our Christmas pet. And you'll need about an ounce, probably not even that much, of a medium weight number 4 yarn. I'm using this. It's some leftover that I had. It's I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's their Sparkle, which also is called metallic now. And it's just kind of a purpley pink color. I think it's going to go perfect with my sparkle gray yarn I used for my Christmas puppy. We'll be stitching with our H hook today, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle to weave in those ends. I have this charm here that I purchased at Michael's. It's got a few little crystals in it, and it's just a charm, and I'm going to slide that onto my collar. I also have a couple of buttons here. I haven't decided which ones I want to use. I was thinking about maybe using this pretty one that matches the yarn and just putting it right there on her chest. I also thought maybe I would use maybe this one or this one that are crystally, since her name is Crystal, because we're also going to make a little bow, and you can decide if you want to make a bow or not. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 41 chains. I do suggest that you stitch this initial chain just a little bit loose. We don't want it all puckered up on the bottom of our collar. I have chained 41 chains. I'm going to begin by stitching a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. There's 1, there's 2. So we'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through both loops, and we'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of our chains across. We chained 41 chains. We began in the second chain from the hook, so we're going to have 40 single crochets. I have stitched a single crochet in each of my chains across, and again I have 40 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and now we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 40 single crochets. Chain 1 did not count as a stitch, so we began right in that first single crochet, and we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets across. So I have stitched a single crochet in each of my single crochets, working all the way across. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now for row 3, we're just going to repeat what we did for row 2. 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way across our row. Isn't the sparkly yarn working up beautifully? So I'm going to continue across, stitching 1 single crochet in each of my single crochets all the way across. I have completed that 3rd row of single crochets. I'm going to tie off, but I'm going to leave myself some yarn here. That way I can stitch the 2 ends together when I put it on my Christmas puppy. I'm going to go ahead and tie that off. I'm going to grab my needle and go ahead and weave this end in. That way I don't have to worry about it later. Whoops. We'll just go ahead and cut that. There we go. Now I have my collar and I have my charm. Now if you're going to sew a button on, I always fold it in half and then place that button in the center of my collar. I'm using a charm and it has this little circle on it. It comes this way if you buy a charm. And you can just slide that right on to wherever you want that to sit. All right. So you can either add a button, a charm, you can even crochet something and put it on there like a dog bone or a heart or a paw print or whatever you want to do in order to make your little collar look cute. All right, let's put it on our Christmas puppy. We want this, of course, to hang in the front, so we'll just set that like that. We're going to gently pull it behind. Let me turn her over. We're going to grab our needle and thread on that piece of yarn. There we go. And we'll just put the 2 ends together. Make sure that you haven't twisted it so you get a twist somewhere. You want it to lay nice and flat. And I just pull it up and just whip stitch the back together like this. And I do it quite a few times. I want to make sure that's going to stay put because this is going to be played with, okay? And we want to make sure that it's not going to come off. Unfortunately, sometimes they get pulled on. So I'm going to weave that in and go ahead and cut that yarn. There we go. So there's the back of my collar. Let's turn her over. And there's the front. And doesn't that kind of cranberry color and with the sparkle pop right out for my collar? All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make a sweet little bow that you can add to your puppy. To make a ribbon for your puppy or kitty, you could always use a thin satin ribbon or even thicker depending on how big of a ribbon you'd like to have. I want to make one that matches the collar so it looks pretty. I'm going to make a chain ribbon and I'm going to add this little sparkle button because I think it looks like crystals since my puppy's name is Crystal. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our slip knot, and again we're going to chain 41 chains. I've chained my 41 chains. I'm going to cut my yarn, tie off, and now we're going to put a knot in the end of each of our chains. So there's one. You want to try to get that knot as close as possible to the chain. All right, let's do the other end. And this is just going to help our chain not come undone and give it a nice, neat finish. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take our crochet hook And I've decided that I want the bow to be over here on the side by the ear. So I'm going to go through a couple of stitches, and I'm going to grab that chain that I made. I'm going to tie that knot, and now I'm going to tie a bow. And I do the 2 bunny ears. I think it makes a nice bow. And if you want a bigger bow, of course, you can chain more. I wanted mine to be just a little bit compact. And then I'm going to take this crystal and sew it on. So I've got some yarn on my hook, and I'm going to go ahead and go through the hole. And this is going to be a little bit of a tight fix. There we go. And I'm going to go through those stitches as well as my bow. There we go. And all I'm going to do now is just tie that on so it sits right in the center. Okay, so let's make sure the bow is where it needs to be. There we go. And then we'll tie that on. Now, I'm using this yarn, so I'm not going to worry about going back through, but you can go back through as much as you feel like that you need. And so now, Crystal, my Christmas puppy, is all finished. She has her beautiful collar and her beautiful crystal bow. And the neat thing about this pattern is it pretty much is a basic pattern. And you can add any embellishments to it that you want. You could add a little skirt, a little vest. You could add different ribbons, bows, buttons, or whatever that you want to add. And remember, just by changing the ears, you can make this into a kitty cat. You could put little round ears and make it a bear. You could make these ears even longer and make it a bunny. Changing all the colors and making it a personalized gift for whoever you would like to give her to. Isn't she precious?